Then came Officer Marcia Cerisi, my remediation trainer for Phase 3, the phase Caprice said I needed to remediate. She was a collegiate volleyball player and the only woman in the history of the police department to be on SWAT. Marcia Cerisi was tall and commanding, with thick, long blonde hair that she wore in a high ponytail, and piercing blue eyes that seemed to see everything yet judge nothing. Her athletic build radiated strength without intimidation, and even her bright painted nails and subtle makeup reflected a confidence that was effortless. She was giddy, smiling often, and carried herself in a way that demanded respect, not through aggression or intimidation, but through the sheer presence and competence. She was stern yet fair, able to command a room, a suspect, or a chaotic domestic scene, not by yelling, but by lowering her voice, making people listen without resistance. She could talk people into handcuffs or diffuse a family dispute without even raising her tone. She was the eye of the storm, the center of calm that made everyone around her feel steadier and safer. Marcia laughed a lot, at herself and at me, and never made me feel small for my mistakes. She had two small children who loved Nemo, and whenever I messed up or got flustered, she would grin and say, "Just keep swimming, just keep swimming." That phrase became a mantra that I carried in my head during the most intense moments. She was disciplined in every part of her life, even her meals. Her portions were small, mostly trail mixes, nuts, bananas, and hard boiled eggs. What I ate in the academy, what I dubbed bird food. She would say, "If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready." And after a grueling foot chase one day, I found myself doubled over on the side of a house, vomiting up a breakfast burrito that I couldn't resist. The entire time I could hear her voice in my head, "Just keep swimming." From then on, I actively resisted gluttony while on duty. Her calm extended beyond words. Watching her handle situations taught me a new kind of strength. Femininity. That was the strength. Calm, composed, measured, deliberate, and nurturing. I began to see that power wasn't in yelling and showing off or intimidation. It was in mastering patience and empathy. Under her guidance, I didn't just survive. I learned how to become the police officer who could act with clarity under pressure, maintain my composure, and earn the respect without fighting for it as a woman. Officer Cerisi taught me how to do the job as a woman. She showed me that my strength didn't have to come from mimicking the men around me or pretending that I was built like them, but for embracing who I was. And that was the kind of officer that I wanted to be. I was feminine. I wanted to use those attributes with intention. I never had the desire to be a tomboy or walk or talk or carry myself like I was trying to dominate a man with sure physical strength. I couldn't, and I didn't. I always was on the smaller side, but that didn't mean that that was a disadvantage. Marcia helped me to see that I could mean something that could mean something entirely different. It could mean that my presence, my poise, my calm, and my femininity could be used as my greatest asset. It was my greatest asset. Where others might have rushed to assert control through volume or force, I could disarm with steadiness, with a quiet confidence that didn't have to shout to be heard. I learned that authority doesn't always come from muscle, that it came from composure. And in the middle of chaos, even when voices rose and tempers flared, I could be the one who stood steady, unshakable, untangible from the noise. That was the image that I carried with me, the kind of officer who doesn't just survive in difficult situations, but can shape the space around them by choosing presence over power and grace over aggression. Marcia gave me permission to believe that being a woman in uniform wasn't a liability anymore. It was a different kind of strength altogether. Her mentorship brought peace through clarity. She showed me how to approach each situation methodically and to see the threads beneath the surface before acting. She modeled patience, never rushing me, never making me feel inadequate, even when I messed up. She would let me know the errors are part of learning, not a reason to be humiliated. Her calm was so contagious. I found myself breathing more steadily, observing rather than reacting, and analyzing rather than panicking. Forget what they said about you. Forget the sabotage. The only person who could take this job away from you is you. she told me. Those words weren't just advice, they were a lifeline. For the first time, I felt safe to absorb instruction from a woman, to trust her guidance, and to allow myself to learn without fear. Under her guidance, I discovered not just my strength, but also my composure. I could navigate the city streets with focus and authority. I no longer had to mask my fear with toughness. I had a foundation in peace, knowing that my own competence and then trusting the process would carry me through. In the city with few black female officers, the name Fox came to stand for more than me. It became a presence, a force, and a warning. I was here to do the job, and I would do it with strength, skill, femininity, and calm. After Officer Cerisi, I finally found my feminine strength and confidence. Officer Cerisi embodied that. It was her truth. Her inner beauty far exceeded anything external. She did not rely on uniforms, badges, or appearances to define her worth. Instead, she carried herself with a nurturing spirit that uplifted those around her. In the midst of a profession often marked by hardness and aggression, her presence was a reminder that strength and gentleness are not opposites, they are complements. She left a lasting impression on my heart and career by teaching me what to do and how to be the calm, quiet, and how to ensure that that was not giving off a sign of weakness, but it was controlled strength. Her gentleness was not passivity, but intentional care. She encouraged others not only through her words, but through her consistency of action and her character. Her career was a testimony that in God's sight, true beauty is not what the eyes see, but what the heart gives, and it is immeasurable in my eyes.